BBC Radio Northampton.
Now, we've been talking this morning about a new jogging group which will meet for the first time later. This group in particular aims to help deaf and hard of hearing people get into sport, which can be a bit of a challenge. Jessica Marion Ball was with us earlier. She's going to be taking part today, and she joined us with her interpreter Mike.
I've built runner before. I've never really been enticed to do it or be part of a group. And then when this group in Moulton came up and they said there'll be an interpreter there to help lead the group on Mondays, I thought, yeah, let's give that a go. So today's the first one.
One of the things I was thinking about, because I suppose, you know, I'm not deaf, so I haven't thought about it, but it is, taking part in any kind of sport is tricky if you're hard of hearing, because you forget how important hearing things is.
Yeah, it is. If you're a runner, of course, you worry about the safety on the roads, whether you're taking the right route, having somebody showing which way you should be going, whether or not you're breathing properly or not. I'm hoping today, we're not going to be going too far today,
Well, with me in the studio is a couple more people that are involved in this. Alexy is from the local organisation Deaf Hub, who is going to be running the group and providing the interpreters. And Alexy is with me in the studio with her interpreter Katie. So, Alexy, maybe you explain what Katie is doing for those listening at home, because there will be a little bit of a delay.
Okay, yeah. So, hello. I'm talking through a sign language interpreter today, Katie. So good morning, everybody.
So what are the barriers for deaf people taking part in sport?
Well, communication, really, that is the key one. A lot of deaf people, maybe they'll get to a group and there's lots of hearing people and they don't feel very confident being involved. And quite often maybe hearing people are talking really fast and they can't keep up. So deaf people feel like they have to keep prompting and say, oh, can you please speak a bit slower, and ask for things to be repeated, which can gradually cause them to withdraw, and then eventually they won't come again. And they can also feel isolated from the group as well, so it is very difficult in that sense.
And have you always been deaf? Was it something that you were born with, or it came in later life?
Yeah, born deaf, that's right, yeah.
Okay, so what was it like, for example, when you were at school? I mean, did people have any idea how to introduce sport into your life, or...?
I went to a specialist school for the deaf, so it was a bit different. That was from 5, and it was a boarding school, and I was there all the way through secondary school as well. So all the teachers there had been trained on how to be, you know, deaf aware, and we were all brought up orally, so we weren't allowed to sign at all. We all had to speak. And then when I left school about 18, I started to learn sign language slowly, and then I found it's so much easier to communicate. Lip reading was such hard work for me, and in the real world, meeting so many different people from school. People wouldn't necessarily speak slowly in the real world, for example, like they did at school, and I couldn't keep up with what they were saying, lip reading. So the sign language helped me a great deal.
So you went to a special school for deaf people, but you didn't learn sign language?
No. That was their method at the time, it was their policy at the time, so, you know, different schools had different policies, but the school I went to, it was what we'd call an oral school.
And presumably that's changed, has it now?
Actually, no. They still only promote speech, so no signing. I mean, it's up to the parents really to make the choice of what type of school they go to.
So when you came out of school, that's when I suppose the challenges come, because, you know, if you've got someone looking out for you because they know that you are deaf. Sport, what have you done in terms of sport in the last few years?
Well, in school, obviously, I loved sport. I loved running, netball, hockey, swimming, so many different things I was involved in. Then leaving school, it was just completely different, you know. Being in school was a bit like being in a bubble, like a big family, really. And the teachers, you know, knew how to communicate with us and talk slowly and things. And then as soon as I got out of school, just trying to get involved in things like rowing and everything at university, it was just so difficult. I just had to pull out. I had to leave it, really. Which
is why, I presume, you're starting this running group. So what kind of interest have you had?
Yes, good interest. We've got 4 people registered on the thing, but we've also got 4 other deaf people that are coming as well. So there's some local group. That's quite a good number for a first thing. And in Moulton there's no running club, so we set it up with another leader. She's going to be doing the Saturday sessions and I'm doing the Monday morning sessions. We're working closely together, so it's a good mix of hearing and deaf people working together to hopefully become more confident, and then hopefully join a proper running club or their own running club locally to themselves, like me.
So you're going to have interpreters when you're running. I'm just trying to think, I mean, I run, and doing anything whilst I'm running is a struggle. So to actually do sign language when you're running is going to be quite something, isn't it? That adds to it.
Well, you know, for me, running, I've been running for the past 7 years myself, and I've been in my local running club, and it was hard, I have to say, but after a while you do get used to it, and you get to know people after going more regularly, and they know how to kind of communicate with me now. They'll stop, we'll walk for a little bit, they'll explain quickly what we're doing. Obviously when I'm running, you can't really keep the eye contact or lip read, it's quite difficult, so you have to stop